How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome back to the New York Islanders franchise mode here in NHL 25. Moving into episode number 16 for the second half of year number 5 here in 2028-29. In the last one, through the first half of our 5th season here on Long Island, we are 28-8-5, sitting atop the National Hockey League with 61 points, on pace to go 56-16-10. It's been an incredible record. Our top 6 is scoring like it's nobody's business. Brock Boeser is on pace for 108 points, and as you can see on the right of your screen, we are 4th in the league for goals for, 12th in the league for goals against, power play at 11th already at 19.1%, but the penalty kill 26th in the league at 79.4%. Definitely a major area of improvement heading into the second half of the season. But like I said, looking at the point totals through the first half so far, Boeser on pace for 42 goals and 108 points. As a guy who's never scored more than 73, and with us never more than 67, now all of a sudden, boom, on pace for 108. So Brock Boeser, keep it up, my friend. Big top 50 Bo Horvat, our captain here on Long Island, on pace for a 50-goal season. 50 goals for top 50, that would make a lot of sense to me. Barzal for 90, Yzerman for 90, Laine for 80, then starts dropping off from there, but no problem with me to see Porter Martone on pace for 56, Malkin on pace for 50. We can survive with that. Rasmus Sandin, his last 10 games or so, last 20 games even, he has been a man possessed as well. There's been a lot of paranormal activity out here between Boeser and Sandin. Sandin, his last 10 games, 5 points in his last 10, and if I'm remembering correctly, it's something like 14 in his last 20, I think. So ever since we put him to the top pair and Dunn to the second pair, first due to injury, but now doing so purposefully. Fazmo, 12 goals and 18 points. He started the season as a 4th liner. We've bumped him up to the 3rd line ever since, and he's been doing okay there, yeah. Vince Dunn, 18 points in 33 games as a +9. Not quite that 70-point pace that we saw last season, but still 18 and 33. That would be like a 45-point pace over the course of an 82-game season, which I think is more representative of who Vince Dunn is as a player. We can survive with that. Landon Dupont, the rookie so far, 16 points in 41 games. From the 84, he's now up to an 86 with that medium franchise potential. Our first overall pick in 2027 in his rookie season. He's been playing 3rd pair plus first unit power play, but now an 86 on pace for 32 points. I think it's time to get him a little bit more ice time if possible. Ryan Pulock, 16 and a +16 too. That's great from the 34-year-old. Mason Marchment in his first year here on Long Island. We brought him in for the penalty killing, and our penalty kill is not good. Plus, he has 13 points on pace for 26 as a guy who we were hoping to see closer to 40 from. Yes, his ice time is lower, but I don't know, at least if we get to 30, 35, he's on pace for 26 and just 8 goals after scoring 27 last year. Yeah, Kyle Palmieri, he was supposed to be 13th forward / maybe just an AHL, mentor. But here he is, 11 points in 38 games as a 79 overall down on the 4th line. David Yerchek, 11 points and a +8 from our 90 overall rock on the blue line. Dean Letourneau, 10 points as 4th line center. Mayfield, 6 points +10 in 38. Lee, 4 points -10 in 35 games. He's had to come out of the lineup, sadly. Bolzuk, 1 assist in 11 games. Brennan Othman, we called him up as we sent down Ethan Belchetz. Now Brennan Othman becomes the 13th forward. And that's pretty much it, yeah, for the skaters. Goaltending now, as last episode was entitled, in full bloom, not just the team, but the flower, Marc-Andre Fleury, at 44 years of age. 77 overall, Marc-Andre Fleury is 24-3 with 1 shutout, a .916 save percentage, and 2.71 goals against average. It doesn't get more EA than that, as our 89 overall Ilya Sorokin has an 8-3-2 record, an .882 save percentage, and 3.42 goals against average. Ridiculous. So, and even there's Peter Marachik, who's our 3rd goalie, 1 appearance, 1 loss, yeah. So a major question for the second half is, yes, we already said the penalty kill, but also, what about the goaltending? Because Marc-Andre Fleury's been incredible, but number 1, when will that magic run out? And number 2, what is our plan longer term in the next 1 to 3 years while we wait for Jack Ivankovic to continue developing down in the system? So we need someone to kind of bring us to Ivankovic becoming our starter in the future, and I don't know if Sorokin's going to be able to do that if the numbers keep faltering. But that's where the AGMs come in. A lot of thoughts in the last one. We went through the trade blocks in the NHL. Just to recap what you'll be seeing in a lot of these comments, a lot of comments had to do with, for a penalty kill first, Ryan O'Reilly over in Los Angeles was one suggestion. The Kings are 10-30-2. Ryan O'Reilly here, an 86 overall, top 9 potential, 37 years of age, 86 overall, 5-star defense. But one thing I don't think I had realized or any of the viewers had realized was he's still signed on for one more year after this one at $8.2 million. So $8.2 million for a year and a half on a 37-year-old with top 9 potential. As much as we love him for the defense, if we got him, there would have to be salary retention involved. And the Kings do want to move him, so maybe they'd be open to that. Then over on the Seattle Kraken, another potential name for us if we're thinking about penalty kill, plus who could play like a middle six role. Dylan Strom's another one, 85 overall. He is 31 years old. He has, 23 points in 40 games, and he has 2 more years after this one at $5.47 million. So Dylan Strome would definitely be more affordable, but the attributes aren't quite the same defensively, that's for sure. 3-star versus 5-star. So Dylan Strome and Ryan O'Reilly, 2 major names for the potential penalty kill fix. For the goaltending, Joey Decor's name was thrown out in Seattle as well. He's on the block, but there really aren't a ton of goalie options. Maybe there's a couple of backups in the league like an Ilya Samsonov who might make sense. But like I said, let's turn to the AGMs and see what their comments had to say. So I'm going to start off with Steven, who said, "Hi Data, let's be patient with Sorokin for a little bit more time. There aren't really any reasonable options on the trade block anyway. For the forwards, I'm leaning towards the idea of acquiring Dylan Strome, maybe because Dylan Strome's been good in Steven's HLM series, but there's also a good chance that Strome could fit and get our second unit power play going, as Evgeny Malkin isn't strong on faceoffs anyway, so he can move to the wing, Malkin can, and play with Strome as his centerman. Marchment hasn't been good either so far, so he can be traded. We can also give a chance to Fajmo on the other wing, so the third line would become Malkin, Strome, Fajmo. Maybe he can continue doing his magic on the fourth line only, but after getting Dylan Strome, we might try him on his wing for 5 to 10 games, and we'll see how that goes. Go Data, go Isles." Thank you, Steven. We'll jump over to Martin's comment now, saying, "Great episode as always, Data. Thank you very much. Amazing to see how we are top of the league halfway through. As for my ideas, the Sorokin situation is an interesting one, since it's the classic case of EA and their magical sim, especially seeing the flower power, and there's no real opportunities on the market that make sense to me. Most teams don't need Sorokin, and the ones that could use him don't have anything interesting in return. I'd keep Sorokin around, see if he turns it around, and for sure going into the playoffs. You don't want to end up with Marachik as a starter in case of injury, yes. Other trades that are looking potentially interesting are O'Reilly or Strome for that middle six center, allowing Malkin to go back to the wing. That's where he strived in the past, so it might be worth it. Those guys, especially O'Reilly, could also bolster the penalty kill and or get the second unit power play going. Other than that, I have a conversation with Mason Marchment to improve his line fit. He's orange in every category, if I'm not mistaken. We'll check that in a sec. And no other major concerns in my opinion. The team is doing fine outside of some small tweaks. How is Ethan Belchet's doing in the AHL? Let's end the season strong and take the President's Trophy home without the curse on it for Lord Stanley, please. Go Isles." Thank you, Martin. So, to answer those questions, Mason Marchment, yes, all orange for the third line, so we can ask him to fit the line better. That might improve him before we say, okay, it's time to ship him out right now. So, we'll have a conversation for Mason Marchment with the coach. And down in the AHL, Ethan Belchet, we gave him his 9 games. He had 1 goal. We sent him down. Since then, 8 goals and 17 points in 28 games with Bridgeport, which honestly isn't crazy. For a guy playing over 21 minutes per night as an 80 overall, I would have expected a little bit more, but let's let him develop. He's a big guy, 6'5", takes him a little bit longer. We'll be patient. So yeah, before I even go on to the next comment, may as well just get that out of the way before I forget about it, because I know I will. Let's scroll down to Mason Marchment. Let's see if he is amenable to that idea, or will he be disgusted with us on ice play? Adaptability is low enough. Let's go to scheme fit. He's a third liner, so he should fit it. I'm aware I've been off my game, but I think it's important to stay true to my current approach. How dare you? I'm sorry, Mason. Okay, it's okay, Papa. It's okay. I'm sorry. Okay, back to the lines and on to the next comment. And by the way, if I can just remember, we'll ask Marchman the same question in a few days again, all right? So, whatever. On to Kieran now, who said, "I get that Sorokin has not been up to expectations, but with him being an original, I sort of want to keep him." We got to keep that in mind as well. Not only is he our 89 overall goalie, but he's also one of our original guys from day one. Also, goalies are such a wild card that a replacement does not guarantee results. We're also not desperate enough for cap space as we have good depth everywhere. Just my 2 cents. Great point from Kieran. If we really needed to free up the money, then fine, we'll we'll do what we have to do. But we don't need to clear Sorokin's 8 point whatever million right now. Even in our expiring contracts, like for Porter Martone, we know that we've got to extend him soon, but we have 12.36 million in extension dollars. Add 8 more, we have over 20 million for just Martone and almost nobody else. So I don't think we need to feel desperate to move Sorokin cap-wise, but for other reasons, other reasons are the reasons. We can talk about performance and voodoo and whatever. But if we're saying cap reasons exclusively, then no, we don't need to feel that pressure. And I'll close it out by just looking at parts of Cheating Heels comment. Very interesting scenarios suggested here. I'll jump on down to this third paragraph that says, I wonder if someone like Trenton in Detroit could improve our penalty kill. Not sure what his defensive stats look like, or maybe even Blake Coleman in Philly. I looked at both of those players. Neither would fit, sadly, both with numbers that really don't impress. So we could get someone on like the more 80 overall range just to try and slot into the PK, but it probably wouldn't be Trenton or Coleman. But absolutely, if we're not looking to make a bigger third line move, it could be a smaller fourth line move. Now for the goaltending, Trey Augustine in San Jose could be an option for a young tandem with our upcoming young goalie, and San Jose already has Askarov, so they probably don't need Augustine. Augustine could back up Flower and then maybe take over next year for 2 to 4 seasons while we wait for Jack Ivankovich to take over. Decord could also be good to get, although his numbers prior to this year aren't stellar. Maybe we can swap him with Marachik since Seattle probably doesn't need Sorokin. Going Decord/Augustine/Fleury could be a decent bet. What's the worst that could happen? They post Sorokin-like numbers? True. I might be tempted to try something like this. We acquire Decord for Marachik plus a pick if needed. We then acquire Augustine for some long shot prospect who's years away, if they even make it. And we trade Sorokin to a team that needs a number 1 goalie for either a youngish second line center so we can move Bars out to the wing, or Sorokin for picks, and we can then use those picks to get our second line center. If we think Sorokin will keep simming like trash, I say you should trade him to the Leafs. But you know what happens as soon as we trade him away, right? Or maybe he's the missing piece in Chicago. Some more suggestions there. Maybe Perfetti, Cousins, Lundell. A few different options we could try to go for. As we can probably put Sorokin's cap dollars to better use than just using them on keeping him. Unfortunately, the game is broken, and spending money on the top goalie is a waste. More often than not, you are correct. Thank you, Cheating Heel. So when it comes to acquiring possibly a second line center, I would love to have one that would allow Matty Barzal to go to the wing with his 77 faceoffs. But the issue is that would bump someone in this top 6 down, and all these guys are on fantastic paces right now. Martone, I guess, is the lowest on a 56-point pace, but Martone needs his ice time. I don't see anyone in this top 6 being able to be bumped down to the third line right now. I could see someone on the third line, like Fadmo, getting bumped to the fourth, but I could not see anyone in the top 6 getting bumped right now. If we were to acquire, let's say, a Quinton Byfield who goes center and Barzal to the wing, I wouldn't be comfortable moving down Laine or Martone right now with how they're performing. If we were to get a second line center, it might mean Barzal moving out in the future, because this top 6 is pretty much locked in. Eisman signed on for 6 more years after this one. Bo Horvat for 2 more years. Besser just for 1 more year, but he's been our best player, so I'd be happy to extend him. Martone will definitely get extended. Barzal for 2 more years. Laine for 3 more years. So I don't see any big changes happening in this top 6 anytime soon, unless we were to trade someone in the top 6, not bump anyone down to the third line. You see what I'm saying? So that's my thoughts for the second liner, but what about possibly going after Trey Augustine in San Jose? It makes perfect sense that the Sharks would be open to trading him with their situation at goalie with, let's see, San Jose, Yaroslav Askarov here, and even Mackenzie Blackwood. So Trey Augustine's been buried in the AHL. At an 80 overall, though, at 23 years of age, there's no guarantee that he would ever get higher than like an 81 or an 82. He's had parts of 4 seasons now with the Barracuda down in the AHL, and great numbers all the time. So I'm sure he's more than ready to get a chance in the NHL. So acquiring Trey Augustine would be a great reclamation project. He still has a couple years left to grow. He's put up good numbers in simulation, albeit in the AHL. I wouldn't mind taking a flyer and just trying on him. We could also acquire Data 782 Hall of Famer Mackenzie Blackwood, but I could see Augustine being more disgruntled and seeing that even if I get to the NHL, Askarov will always be the starter here. If he were to come to Long Island, he could actually be the starter someday. So Augustine coming to Long Island would be great, but I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily moving Sorokin yet. I'm kind of balancing Cheating Heels comment as well as some of the other comments that said Sorokin's an original. There's not really any options around the league that make a ton of sense right now either. So here's Marachik to play as your third goalie, San Jose. I have to give Marachik plus more to get Augustine. Augustine would then join Fleury and Sorokin and become part of a 3-headed monster moving into the end of this season. And hopefully next season, it would be a tandem of Sorokin and Augustine, because I doubt Ivankovich will be ready yet. But Augustine would move up from the 3 to the 2, maybe even the 1, if we keep having Sorokin problems. So Marachik moving out works for me. but then who else goes, right? It would take a fair bit of value to get that done. Yes, we could trade Toskala, 65-22, medium elite, defensive defenseman. This is a guy who's just definitely never going to grow being a defensive defenseman in EA land. So I would be open to trading Toskala, but I have a separate move waiting for Toskala, and we need his trade value. So bear with me for a moment. I don't want to trade Toskala yet. I don't really want to trade any of these other players who fit San Jose's block either. So it would come down to picks. They just want to move on from Augustine. He's disgruntled. He wants out. Marachik in a second. He's an expiring contract as well. No guarantee that he stays. I don't know why they're listed as sellers, but what would San Jose say to this? I know it's not really close. It would probably take, I don't want to trade our first, but it would take a solid second and a third, at least, probably. There's definitely some risk attached to this. There's no guarantee that he'll do well, but we get Augustine in as third goalie this year, plus part of our tandem for next year. And for a guy with medium potential, we get him for a second this year and a third next year. Maybe, if they're even a bit low for us. So a little bit more would get this done. Do we have any little more smaller value? A second and a third for Trey Augustine? I think that's a fair deal, because Marachik essentially is just a toss-in. But he is a former second-round pick himself. Can I just throw in Jamson here to get his rights? San Jose, what do you say? A second, a third, Marachik just to fill the goalie swap. What do you say to this? Trade accepted. All right, thank you, San Jose. Trey Augustine, welcome to Long Island. At least just probably giving us a little bit more comfort. A trade that wouldn't make sense unless he'd been buried in the AHL, which he has been. 4 years in the AHL. He's 23. He wants to see the NHL, and he knows that he won't get to be the starter with Askarov there. But here on Long Island, Augustine, within a year or two, he could be the starter. Just that I don't want to commit to trading Sorokin yet. All right. Now, that other trade that we were thinking about, we've been talking about O'Reilly, we've been talking about Strome. Sorry for the longer than usual intro. I mean, we've moved on from the intro, just we haven't gotten simulating yet. We've looked at ROR. The biggest issues on Ryan O'Reilly are that he has top 9 potential, he's making $8.2 million, and he's signed on for next year. I did do some pre-scouting on this for Ryan O'Reilly. If we wanted to have them retain $3.2 million, so O'Reilly would be costing us $5 million, it would take that medium league prospect and a first-round pick, which I don't think I want to do for a guy with top 9 potential who will just continue to regress. He has fantastic attributes, everything that we'd be looking for, but just that contract is too hard to take right now. I know we said that money isn't a big issue, but $8.2 million, that would be an issue. So I would say ROR is sadly out. Now, over in Seattle with Dylan Strome, I sadly think that he is also out. 85 overall, more digestible contract for sure, but I gotta say, something about his simulation numbers is just not sitting well with me. From all my franchise experience, something in the back of my head is saying this doesn't make sense. In the sim, he's been a 64, 76 point guy, but then, I don't know, maybe it's just because the team was so weak, but in Washington, playing 20 plus minutes per night, he scored 43 and then 31 points. 43 and 82, and then 31 and 62, playing 20 plus minutes per night. Goes to the Rangers, 12 points in 20 games, that's great. But then again in Seattle, given a lot of ice time, 21.06 of ice time, he has scored 23 points in 40 games. I would say A, it doesn't seem as though he's a great simulation player, and B, 80 shot blocking, 82 defensive awareness. Yes, the faceoffs are high, but we could find players who play center who also have the higher shot blocking and higher stick checking. And when I go through the player search, it took me about a half hour to refine all the searches and do a lot of my due diligence off screen. It ultimately came down to 2 players. The first player that I think would make a lot of sense for us, if we go and look at the centers, if we're saying third-line center who can play penalty kill and maybe even become second-line center if something were to happen. We're saying we're talking about trading someone one day or something, but even if we're not, like I said before, I think the top 6 is the top 6 for at least the next couple of years. If we're saying just a third-line center who can play penalty kill and maybe the power play, I think Shane Pinto is one of those guys. Now here in Ottawa, there's a lot of centermen. Yes, some are playing the wing. Shane Pinto is getting his ice time in Ottawa, 17-12 of ice time, but he's on an expiring contract, and I'm not sure the Senators are going to be re-signing him. They have a big extension coming in for Ridley Gregg. I don't know if it's going to make sense for them to keep Shane Pinto, who's been very good. He has 4-star defense. Faceoffs are lower, but again, it's maybe just the awareness pumping him up. 80 shot blocking, 86 stick checking. I don't know. I was interested by him, but I would say I don't know if he's my number 1. I was interested by him. I'll just put it at that. 25 points in 39 games. I think he would make sense. But someone who I think would make a little bit more sense, I told you Pinto just to let you go through my thought process with me. Someone who I think makes even more sense. The Senators are 22, 16, and 1. They're conservative buyers. Let's go to the Montreal Canadiens, who are, yes, 20, 15, and 3, but they are sellers. And they have someone in their center depth here. If we look at their centers, they have Suzuki, they have Doc. Michael Hage is going to need a contract soon. They have new hooks signed on already. They have an expiring contract here in Oliver Kapanen. Oliver Kapanen, 85 overall at 25 years of age, 30 points in 38 games, and 4-star defense, 86 awareness, 83 shot blocking, 90 stick checking, 82 faceoffs, and he's listed even as a third-line forward, so he's already going to be content if he stays in that role. He fits the second line, but we don't need to worry about that. We have a conversation, try to get him to adapt, and the value, since they are sellers, would be a little bit easier to acquire him. So I looked again, if we wanted to acquire Shane Pinto, it would take that medium elite prospect and a second-round pick. So if we're open to trading, what's his name, Toskala, we could trade Toskala for Kapanen and more, I think, because they want Toskala. But Ottawa didn't want Toskala, so we had to trade Toskala and a second if we wanted to be in the realm of consideration for Shane Pinto. Meanwhile, for the Canadians, I think they'd give us Kapanen and more because Kapanen's an expiring contract. They need to give money to Hage. They already have other centers in their system too, and they're sellers. So here, take the prospect, and I'll take, I don't know, what can I get here? Can I get a 5th this year? And what do you have, a 3rd from Vancouver next year? How about this from the Montreal Canadiens? So Toskala, medium elite prospect. I'd like to keep him in our system. Defensive defenseman, I'm not confident that he'll grow. Maybe he will, but the Canadians can take a chance on a medium elite, and they get to just get some value for a player who is possibly going to expire and walk the free agency anyways as sellers and as a team that already had a lot of center depth. Kapanen would prefer to thrive on the team that's sitting atop the NHL right now. So Montreal, what would you say to this? Trade accepted! Happy to accept it even! Okay, maybe we could have been squeezed out a little bit more. Thank you, Montreal. Oliver Kapanen, welcome to Long Island. Let's go. There's that third line addition that hopefully is going to help us on the penalty kill especially. I didn't want to wait and do, okay, let's sim 20 more games and think of the deadline. No, the penalty kill has been too bad for too long. So Artukin, sure, Artukin's going to come up here in the AHL. And now Dennis Goodbog. Yes, of course, Goodbog, our favorite, can get more ice time in the AHL too. So that brings us much closer to the salary cap for sure, but I think those were two moves that make us stronger here halfway through the season. Trey Augustine and Oliver Kapanen both in. Yes, other options would have been great, but I think for all the reasons that I laid out, this is probably what works best for us. The third line will now be Marchment and Malkin on the wings. Actually, let's put Malkin on the left wing, Marchment on the right. Fadjimal's going to stay in the lineup. Othman will come out. So Othman, we'll have Kapanen come in at third line center. He fits the second line best. Actually, third line's not a bad fit, though. No chemistry, but let's see what happens after we try to fix Marchment again in a few days. Fourth line will be Fadjimo, Lee, and Palmieri, as Letourneau is still injured. And once Letourneau comes back, then Lee will come out of the lineup. As Othman, 13 forward, Augustine, third goalie, Boldzuk, 7th D. Yes, I like this a lot. Now I'm just going to fix up the special teams quickly. So what we'll do on the third unit is Malkin out, Barzal in. So Barzal, Besser on the third unit. And second unit will now be Kapanen and Marchment instead of Barzal and Marchment. We have to talk to Kapanen about changing his penalty kill fit. And Marchment also needs to change his penalty kill and his third line fit. So we have to talk about that. But Oliver Kapanen comes in on the second unit penalty kill. And we'll see if that helps out the team a little bit. All right, let's go back to conversations. Can I talk to Kapanen right away? Yes, I can. Welcome to the team. Can we get you to change your penalty kill fit? Or has he already discussed it with us? Let's see. Scheme fit. It says convincing. All right, there we go. Can we change the penalty kill fit, please? Thank you very much. Game on. Okay, thank you, Oliver. That's the attitude that we want to see from a new player. Is it still a -1? No, now it's 0. Great. So we still just have to talk to Mason Marchment. Whew, okay, the last thing we have to do is try and get more ice time for Landon Dupont, now that he's at an 86 overall. So that means Pulock probably comes down. Yeah, we're going to try Dupont and Dunn together. Let's try that. And Pulock Mayfield would be a pair. Yeah, we'll try that, and we'll go from there. Yeah, okay. Whew, that's a lot of things that happen at the start of an episode. Episodes don't usually take this long to get going. 2 big trades, some lineup changes. Yes, we're sitting atop of the league, but with that penalty kill and with that goaltending, we had to do something. So let's now start simulating towards our next game against the Washington Capitals through the halfway point, on pace for 56, 16, and 10 as our record. Letourneau, hey, look at that. He's already back to the lineup, so we can already fix it as we were just mentioning. Actually, it's a playable injury, so he's not back just yet, but we've got to send somebody down. I guess that's back to Othman because Lee will be 13th forward. So yeah, Brendan Othman will go down. Does not get claimed on waivers. Okay. And once he's fully healthy. Okay, not yet. So Letourneau, playable injury, not fully healthy yet. So the first game of the second half will come here against the Capitals. We'll give it to Sorokin with them being a weaker team, 15, 20, and 4. We'll give it to Sorokin here in Washington for the first game of the second half. Whew, that was a long enough start. Let's get simulating. I want to see what this team can do. First period, 4-0 Islanders! Martone, Yzerman, Marchment, and Barzal. There's that third line with Marchment. Oh my goodness, 4-0 after 20 shots, 17-6. Second period, 4-4! Oh, what? Chikrin, Mangiapane, Kachuk, and Paraskak. Wow, we score 4 in the first, they score 4 in the second. Great job, Sorokin. We're being outshot 25-21. We got 5 from up 4-0 to down 5-4. We got outshot like crazy in the second. Whoa, okay, so Sorokin, you're going to go to third goalie, man. That's from up 4-0. That's like NHL record stuff. From up 4-0, we lose 6-4. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. What a disaster class. How are the plus minuses in this one? -1s from Lee, Palmieri, Yurchek, Zupon, Mayfield, and Fagemo. And for the goalies, Sorokin allows 6 on 38, 842 save percentage. Okay, so Sorokin's going to move out. Fleury's coming back, and now Augustine will back him up, moving into the next little bit. And here we go. So hopefully the flower power continues for 44-year-old Marc-Andre Fleury. Trey Augustine, I don't know if he's ever backed up an NHL game, but he will back up this game here at home against the Golden Knights. Fleury against his old team, one of his old teams, as that was a massive 6-4 loss. Up 4-0 and choke it 6-4. All right, here we go. We scored 4. Let's just not allow 6 this time. Let's see the same type of scoring, though. Here we go. First period with Fleury between the pipes. 2-1 Isles after 20. Horvat opens it up. The captain texting with a power play goal, so thank you, penalty kill, for falling apart again. But Rasmus Sandin gets us back up by 1. Continued scoring from him on that top pair. Second period, 4-1 Isles. Besser and Laine. There we go. The top 6 snipers have us up by 3. We squandered a 4-goal lead. Now let's not squander a 3-goal lead. There's Nicholas Hague making a 4-2. Power play Vegas shortly after. Let's go penalty kill. Thank you. That's a nice penalty kill. Now a power play ourselves. And Bo top 50. The captain gets his second of the night. 5-2 Isles outshooting the Golden Knights 42-30. Final few minutes, and Marc-Andre Fleury will get another win here as Malkin scores are now on the wing of that third line. Thank you very much. 6-2 Islanders win, outshooting Vegas 47-32. 30 saves on 32 shots from the Flower. 2 goals from Bo, a goal and assist from Besser and Sandin, and that's what we're talking about. Okay, 6-2 victory. I know it was a bit, I don't know, I felt a little risky to make a change when we're sitting atop the league, but I think that's the type of move that a Stanley Cup contender makes. It identifies one of its issues, and it goes out and makes a change. So we're going to go through the Wild, and we'll go to the Canadiens. Captain against his old team, Marc-Andre Fleury, one last start in La Belle Province. Letourneau is healthy, so we'll bring Lee out of the lineup. There you go, Lee out, Letourneau in. So now Fagemo, Letourneau, and Palmieri will be that fourth line. Simming through the game against Minnesota brings me to September 2029 for some reason. I have to stop my sim, go back, and it was a 6-4 win against Minnesota. Okay, great. Now, like I said, in Montreal for the last time for Marc-Andre Fleury. You saw it in 2025. Now we're seeing it again for real this time, for real in 2029. His last appearance in his home province of Quebec, in the city of Montreal. First period, 1-1 after 20. Machar opens it up before Barzal ties it on Ravensburgen. Second period, 2-2 game. Demidov on the power play early, but then Brock Besser ties it. Shots are 19-17 for the Canadiens through 40, but we're all tied at 2. Power play Canadiens to start the period. We kill that off. Let's go penalty kill. Very nice. Power play again. And this time a shorthanded goal from Matty Barzal. Thank you very much. Extended power play for the Canadiens. We kill all of it off with a shorthanded goal to boot. From down 2-1 to up 3-2. 5 minutes ago being outshot 33-25. Come on, Flower Power. Final 90 seconds. And the Islanders win 3-2. Holding off the Canadiens who outshoot us 33-27. Marc-Andre Fleury, second star honors. Yurchek 2 assists, Matty Barzal 2 goals, including the shorthanded winner as we win in Montreal. Wow, how about that? Big one. So Sorokin gets the loss, and now Fleury 3 consecutive wins. We'll keep on going until this back-to-back here. That's where Augustine will make his NHL debut. Actually, pump the brakes here. I just got to update the scouting report. Okay, scouting's done. Let's keep on going to that game against the Devils that I had said. So let's see 4 more for Marc-Andre Fleury. At home against the Sabres, starting off with a 4-1 victory. Hosting the... Okay, very good. Hosting the Vancouver Canucks for a 28-14-4. That's a tough one. 2-1 win. Woo, it's a very good opponent there. Calgary Flames hosting them now as well. Sore foot for Ryan Pulock. We'll say head coach replaces, so that Bolduc will come in and replace. It'll be Bolduc and Mayfield on the third pair, no problem. At home against the Flames, 5-2 win. Thank you very much. I'll fix that in a moment. I just want to get to this game against the Devils. Come on, one more. All these stoppages. Aitchison in the 5th for JJ Peterka, another guy who I'd considered picking up, but his numbers have just been really bad in Buffalo. Expiring contract. And you know what? Speaking of expiring contracts, we should check on what Oliver Kapanen would be wanting. And then a 6-4 loss. So that's a perfect time to say, all right, Marc-Andre Fleury, we'll give you a little bit of a rest after all those victories. Let's have you take a little bit of a break. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins in a row for the Flower. 6 more victories for the 44-year-old. We'll let him take a break now as he's at 26 wins, a .917 save percentage, and 2.68 goals against average. Oh my goodness. All right, over to view contracts. How has Kapanen been doing so far, and what would he be wanting for an extension? Oliver Kapanen. Oh, he's an expiring RFA as well. That's great news. Kapanen so far is third line, 4 points in 8 games with a +3. Very good, playing 12:36 of ice time. I know it's not as much as he'd probably be wanting. Maybe we could find some time on the power play. I'm not sure. But Oliver Kapanen is looking good. Now, what would he want to extend right now? We can just wait on him as an RFA, but 2 by 6.8, yeah, we'll have to wait on him. And Porter Martone, we had said we could do it now, but again, as an RFA, we don't need to feel the rush. 3 years versus 4 years. No, I think we can just wait on him as well. And Malkin will continue to regress too, so I don't think we're going to do any extensions right now, although we had mentioned the possibility of doing so. Okay, now over to lines. Trey Augustine coming in to make his NHL debut, his first career start at 23 years of age, the 2023 second-round pick of the Red Wings. He ended up going to San Jose and now to Long Island to finally make his NHL debut, learning from one of the greatest of all time. And then on the power play, so Kapanen, yeah, he could go there if we needed the second unit. Maybe, yeah, Marchman comes out. Marchman, how you doing, man? 17 points in 17 points in 49 games. And game logs last a little bit. He has 1 goal, 2 assists since we changed up those lines. So that's good. Okay, but I'm going to take him off the power play. And actually, yeah, Malkin will go here, and Kapanen will come center. Let's do that to give him a little bit more ice time as well. Oliver Kapanen, and he fits the power play. Great. Kapanen there, Malkin there. Awesome. All right, we continue like that. Now for Trey Augustine's first career start, it's going to be on the road against the Devils, who are 21, 24, and 5, division rival, for his first career NHL start at the age of 23. First period, 1-0 Devils. Timo Meier scoring on the power play. Come on, bounty kill. Second period, 2-2 game. Patrick Laine and Cole Yzerman get us in there. We go up by 1. Van Halternen ties it. Shots are 27-16 in our favor, but we're all tied up after 40. Third and final period in New Jersey. Power play Devils. Oh, power play goal, Dougie Hamilton. And 2 power play goals against. And what? 3 power play goals against that. We can't even blame Trey Augustine. 5 goals against, but 3 power play goals in a minute and a half. Being hung out to dry. Poor Trey Augustine. As we're going to lose this one 5-2. Who took this penalty? This major penalty, I guess. Hooking and then a high-sticking double minor. Oh my goodness, what a joke. So Trey Augustine, not your fault, my friend. We're going to have to definitely do something on the penalty kill. Where's the number down there? We are 77.4%, 30th in the league. Yeah, time for changes. Even if it looks good on paper, it's not clicking. So now we're going Horvat and Marchment as the forwards on the first unit. The defenseman will be Dunn and Yurchek. We're going to go heavy on the first unit, I suppose. Second unit, Kapanen, Martone, Boldzuk with, let's say, Sandin. +3 even. Mayfield, Dupont, Besser, Barzal can stay as the third unit. All right, that'll be the only thing that we do. Trey Augustine, it was a rough debut, but it's not your fault. The pony kill has just been horrible. I just wish we had other options to slot in there. Like, we can't put Yzerman or Laine with their 2-star defense. We don't really have any other options. We're using the players who we can use. Yeah, okay, so let's keep on going. That's 9 games since the halfway point, correct? Because now we're at, let me see, if we scroll here, that's at 50 games played. So let's do one more game. And I just want to see the last 10 games of a few players if we look at their stats. So Marc-Andre Fleury back in between the pipes for this one now, hosting the Seattle Kraken. And it's a 3-0 shutout victory! Marc-Andre Fleury, a shutout in the year 2029. Oh my goodness. Oh, he's incredible. Now, let's see some of these stat lines over the last 10 games. So Malkin, since moving to the wing, if we look at split stats over the last 10 games, 5 points +4, playing 11.50 per night. Okay. Oliver Kapanen as an Islander, 5 points in 10 games. 1 power play point already. Great. And Mason Marchment, since having that change to his line, 4 points in his last 10 games. Okay, Mason Marchment. Now, Samuel Fagemo, we got bumped down. He has only 1 assist, I think, in his last 10 games. Yeah, 1 assist +1, sadly. Yeah, all right, Fajimo. Now, over on defense, has Sandin still been doing well in the top pair with Yurchek? If you look at the split stats for him, 5 points plus 14! Okay, yeah, Sandin, you're great. Now, Landon Dupont already an 88 overall, from 84 to 86, and boom, just like that, shot up to an 88. Wow. Dupont, how are his last 10 games? 2 assists plus 2, playing 21:40 per night. Wow, okay, so we'll keep rolling like that with Fleury as the starter, but that was his second shutout of the season in the year 2029 AD. Ryan Pulock also healthy. Okay, so he'll get back in the lineup. Oh, I can put Pricing back in the AHL lineup too. So Pulock will come back in for Boldzuk, I believe. Boldzuk, how's he doing? 14 games plus 1. All right, that's fine, but we'll bring him out. We'll put Pulock in, and then a little AHL change as well. Okay, there we go. So now in the NHL, it's a nice little week plus off. Beautiful, a little all-star break or something. Peterka in a third for HN in a second. Now that's what you want? No, I'm not going to do that. Brings me to May 2029 for some reason. Okay, we're taking a nice break. And now here we are up against the 35-11-5 Carolina Hurricanes. The President's Trophy could come down to this game on the road against Carolina. The division, the conference, and the league title might come down to this game. You never know. Here we go. Two of the best in the league facing off. First period, 1-1. Seth Jarvis on the power play before Landon Dupont on the power play himself ties it. Shots doubled in our favor. Second period, 3-2 game. Line A puts us up. Aho on the power play ties it, but then Evgeny Malkin puts us back up by 1. 2 power play goals against. What can we do for this power play? We're up by 1 here in the third period. Carrier ties it. 3-3 game. 3-on-18 pass. Fleury, come on. Let's go, Flower. We need that Flower power. 12 minutes ago, shots are pretty even. It's a low-shooting affair, but 6 goals have been scored. Carrier with his second of the period puts Carolina up from up 3-2. We're now down 4-3. We need a goal here in the final 5 minutes. Top 6, come on, Besser. Horvat, I'm looking at you. We choke it, 4-3. Third period, Carrier scores twice, and we lose a game that we had. Oh my goodness, come on. And Besser now, upper body injury, just nice and vague. Upper body injury, out for like 2 weeks. Okay, so we're going to have Line A come up, Malkin will come up, Fajimo will come up, and Lee will return to the lineup. That's what we'll do. It's not for long. I'm not going to break my head on any lineup changes like that. We'll go to the game against the Sharks, and we'll put Augustine in for that one. All right, on the road against the Blue Jackets, 4-2 win. Hosting the Panthers, who are 31-20-2. We lose 4-1. Hosting the Rangers now in a big rivalry. No, I don't want JJ Peterka right now. Hosting the New York Rangers, who are 30-19-4. We lose 3-2. And then hosting the Oilers. Jack, I separated shoulder out for a long time in the AHL. Wow. Hosting the Oilers, 6-4 win. All right, we're 37-14-5. Now, Besser's not back yet, but it's February 24th. Hopefully it's just one more day. We're going to give this start to Trey Augustine against the team that buried him in the AHL for 4 years. I understand he had to do his time, but he was 23, he was ready to go, and he was still not getting his chance. Here we are at the Shark Tank for Trey Augustine to get his second career NHL start. Big chance for him after that last one. It was a penalty kill disaster. First period, 2-1 Sharks. Eklund opens it up. Bo Horvat ties it, but then Nikishin puts San Jose up by 1. Shots tied at 13. Second period, 4-2. Celebrini. Mayfield answers. Then Cagnoni puts the Sharks up by 2 to end the second period. Shots are 24-23 in our favor. We're down 4-2. Where is that top 6 scoring? Thank you, Evgeny Malkin. That's 1. Then Toffoli answers right back. 5-on-25 on Trey Augustine. Power play for the Islanders. Killed off by the Sharks. Down by 2 with now 10 to go. We're not done yet, but we got to get something going ASAP. And the minutes will just continue to tick away. Power play Sharks killed off. Power play Islanders. There you go. Celebrini gets one more. 6-on-40 past Trey Augustine. The poor rookie. Give it 40 shots against. How are you going to let him build confidence when you're letting him get shelled by 40 shots? 825 save percentage now for Augustine. Poor guy, but we're not going to let him fall apart. I'm going to give him another game. Hold on. Besser back in the lineup. Besser, there he is. Not just yet for Augustine, because it's back-to-back. We're going to go Fleury against the Kraken. Advancing the day here, and then we'll give him a chance. 6-3 win. Thank you very much. We're going to give Augustine a chance here against Vegas. On the road. Actually, no, let's do it at home. We'll wait till we come back home. On the road, 5-0 shutout victory. Oh, I'm glad we gave Fleury one more there. And now we'll give this home start to Trey Augustine. Looking for our 40th win of the season against the 22-32-5 Capitals. By the way, can I talk to Marchman now? I tried to talk to him off screen earlier while doing the scouting, and that option wasn't available to us. Can I talk to him now? No, only on-ice play. But on-ice play is what I want to talk. But yeah, okay, yeah, sorry. I almost made a big mistake there. Scheme fit. It says it would be convincing. Finally. Okay, can we work on the third line, please? Fit to the third line. Thank you. And that's all I could do. I couldn't do pounding kill as well. I guess that's more important, but... Can I go back to on-ice play? No, that's it. Okay, so at least he fits the third line now, so that's a positive. But the penalty kill has just been a real, like a huge joke. Not just bad, not just a joke. It has been a monumental joke. We are worst in the NHL at 77.7%, the worst penalty kill in the National Hockey League. That is embarrassing. It's time to go crazy then. We just put all kinds of people in it. Let's line in with his 2-star defense. Welcome aboard. Horvat's going to stay as first-line center. He's just the best there. Marshman's coming out. We're going to go, and Jiricek's going to come out too. So let's go Dunn and Pulock with Horvat and let's go crazy. And let's say Malkin. Let's go Malkin. Horvat, Malkin, Dunn, Pulock. Second unit, Kapanen's going to stay. It's going to be Jiricek and Sandin. And the wing here will be Cole Yzerman with his like 2.5-star defense. +2 it gets. Great. And the third unit, Barzal, Besser, Mayfield, and Zupon. Barzal. I wonder if Barzal... Any shorthanded points from Matty Barzal? 65 points on the year. 2 shorthanded points. I wonder if it makes sense to put Letourneau here instead of Besser. Maybe. Why not? Sorry, instead of Barzal, I mean. Letourneau will get a bit more ice time. All right, Dean Letourneau with Besser, Mayfield, and Zupon. So overhauling the penalty kill, which has given us nothing to have any hope in. And Trey Augustine's going to get his chance here at home against a better opponent in the Capitals. And we won't go for the slow sim. Maybe he's just bad in the slow sim. Let's advance today and see how he does here at home against the 22-32-5 Capitals. 6-1 win. Trey Augustine with his first career dub. There you go. That's what we've been looking for. Paterka on a third. No, all these different variations of the same trade. We're going to give him another start here in the main menu sim. 6-3 victory. There you go, Trey Augustine. And now since it's back-to-back, we'll go back to Fleury, as the trade deadline is just coming up now. Actually, with the deadline coming up, maybe we go Sorokin. Let's give Fleury the night off. And let's go back to Sorokin. Maybe he's learned his lesson. Sometimes I find that goalies who sit out for a long time, they come back and then they do well. Last game before the deadline. Let's go in and see it against the 33-20-6 New York Rangers. Charlie Lindgren starting for them. Sorokin back in for us. First period, 1-0. Dupont short-handed. Okay, there are the penalty kill units. Second period, 1-1. Trocheck on the power play. We're just going to have to accept that we're not going to get any better of a penalty kill. Power play Rangers killed off. Thank goodness. We just got to take less penalties. Final 5 minutes of this one. It's a 1-1 game. Next goal is the winner. Power play Islanders killed off by the Rangers. Final minute. Will we see overtime? Yes, we will. Shots end 31-30 for the Rangers. 3-on-3 OT action here we're at UBS Arena, right? Off to the shootout, and we win 2-1. All 3 goals. Actually, no, 2 out of 3. Malkin, Bertuzzi answers, and Cole Yzerman gets the winner. 2-1, Isles win it. As Sorokin gives a good performance. We got to give it to him. From 878 save percentage now to 885 save percentage. All right, we got to give it to him. It was a good game. So enough that we're not going to trade him, but we know that he's still not someone that we have trust in. So we'll do our due diligence around the NHL and see what's going on. Actually, we should probably check out the point totals. As Besser sits at 71 points, I don't think he's going to hit 108, but still a great season right now. Already a career high as an Islander. I think a career high is coming up in points, 71 and 57. Horvat 70 with 37 goals. He should hit 50, hopefully. Barzal 68, Yzerman 60, good. Line Kapanen. Kapanen's been doing really well. Kapanen now has 15 points in 21 games as an Isle. Only 1 minor penalty, playing 13:44 of ice time. Yes, Oliver Kapanen. Malkin 44, Martone 44, Dunn 36, good. Sandin, Fagemo 17 goals now. Marshman, yeah, I don't see any big issues here. No plus-minus issues either. Anders Lee somehow a -15. That's why he's been out of the lineup. I don't know how he's a -15. The fourth line, yeah, plus-minus hasn't been amazing. But I don't think any changes that we have to make. And when we look at the goaltending as well, Fleury 32, 9-3, 3 shutouts. Keep it rolling, man. Sorokin's numbers did get a little better with that 1 win. But yeah, we'll keep going like that. Okay. You know what? I'm not even going to look at the trade blocks around the league. We traded one of our prospects. We traded a second this year and a third next year. We're happy with our team. We're one of the best, if not the best team in the league right now. I don't think we're going to even do any due diligence. I'm going to say, even if there was someone available, we're not looking to make any moves right now. So let's sim through the deadline. Let's continue to be confident in our squad. And we'll just go through and check out the message center, see what other deals happen around the league. In the activity feed, here we go. Scrolling on a lot of trades, actually. Let's scroll all the way down. So, Lassie Thompson there. Okay. Troy Terry going to Ottawa and Jamie Alexiak with him for a first and a prospect. Kirby Dach going to the Rangers as the Canadiens continue to sell off for a first and a fifth. Mikey Anderson to the Senators as well. Scott Laughton to the Hurricanes. Some pick swaps. Yoki Hardy to the Maple Leafs. Roslovic to the Panthers. Jordan Spence to the Hurricanes. Picks and prospects flying around. Cole Perfetti to Minnesota. Perfetti, Mantha, and a sixth for a first and a fifth from Minnesota. Wow. Okay. Bunch of, picks. Jamie Drysdale to the Lightning. Okay. Joe Veleno to the Canucks. Yeah, a lot of deals. A lot of picks were being moved around as well, but a lot of trades in the NHL. And now we're going to keep on rolling towards the end of the year. Do I give Sorokin one more? Yeah, why not? Sorokin going to get one more. Let's see. Against Utah... Miramanov on waivers, 2 years left at 1.55. I will decline. Hosting Utah. Any slower. Let's go. Come on. 4-1 loss. All right. Goodbye, Ilya Sorokin. Probably his last start of the season. As Fleury will go back to starting with Augustine backing up. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Calendar, and let's get this simulation done. I'm sure it's a long enough episode already with all those trades at the beginning. If only it didn't take half an hour to load up the calendar. A lot of back-to-backs coming up, though. I wish you could just set a starter like an HLM. I wish you could just set a starting goalie. All right, let's run it. Here we go. Nice and slow. A 6-5 shootout loss against the Avalanche. In Ottawa against the Senators, 5-2 loss. Hosting the Penguins, 5-3 loss. Okay, let's pause. Even though I press pause on the 15, it goes to the 17. 4-1 win. Good. I'll give Fleury the next game against the Blackhawks as well, against one of his old teams. And then we'll go Augustine maybe for like 3 starts. A lot of stuff that I just have to cut from the episode. It's so slow. In between menus is so slow. 7-6 shootout win. So at least we get the dub, but Fleury allowing too many goals as of late. So let's roll with Augustine for a little bit. No shame in that. All right, Trey, here we go. Here's your chance to start a little with your first chance of consistency in the NHL, as I'm guaranteeing you 3 games. Winnipeg, Detroit, and New Jersey. Hosting the Jets, here we go. 6-4 win against a good Jets team. Allowing 4, but we scored 6 to bail them out. Detroit, now we host them. 5-4 overtime win. Again, allowing 4, but we score 5. And now in New Jersey, 7-3 win. Okay, we're 47, 18, and 6. The Hurricanes are still above us with that crazy record. Let's keep on rolling. I'm going to give you 2 more games, let's say. Here, hosting the Montreal Canadiens. Let's do it. 4-3 win, and then hosting the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's so slow. Hosting the Blue Jackets, I don't even know what happened. 4-2 win. Nice. Augustine, you've earned my trust. Let's keep on going. Can you get win number 50 on the road in Florida, Trey Augustine? No, we got shut out 3-0. All right, so just not because Augustine's been bad, but because Marc-Andre Fleury has to keep getting in there if he's going to be our starter in the postseason. We're going to go back to Marc-Andre Fleury now. Very good. Thank you, Trey Augustine. 6 wins, up to an .882 save percentage, 3.78 goals against average. Yeah, it's not amazing. Definitely not amazing, but that he's doing pretty much as well as an 89 overall Sorokin is crazy. On the road in Boston, next 3 games going to Fleury. Could this be win number 50 at TD Garden against the 32, 34, and 10 Bruins? 8-3 win. There it is. Win number 50, ladies and gentlemen. On the road in St. Louis, that's a 5-1 win. Bo Horvat is healthy. Good. 5-1 win. On the road in Vancouver, 6-2 loss. We'll go Fleury again. Fleury on the road against Dallas. Oh my goodness, I need to cut time in between the sims just because it's going to be dead silence for 3 seconds. 4-1 loss. So back-to-back losses. Let's give Fleury another rest. Augustine going to come back in. I'm 100% convinced that the game is just getting slower than it was at release. So Mason Marchman perfectly fitting that third line, used that +2, by the way. I am 100% convinced that the game... It was already slow to begin with, but it's gotten even slower. Let's advance the day here. It's the 49, 28, and 2 Panthers. They want win number 50, but they do get it. They do, with a shootout victory as we lose in the shootout against them. Trey Augustine, come on, buddy. Let's give you maybe your last start here at home against the Caps. You've done it before against the Caps at home. So slow. 5-3 loss. All right, so Fleury will end off the year. Last 2 games of the season, they're both going to go to Fleury, as means to be ready to commit to him as the postseason starter. 2 games left in the year. Let's see if we can get to 53 wins. Let's sim this one against the Flyers. Here we go, hosting them at UBS Arena. First period, 2-0 Yzerman Kapanen, shorthanded. Second period, 3-0 Matty Barzal. And third period, 4-2 win. Besser adds the empty netter. Shots end 34-31, and we win 4-2. Thank you. That's our 52nd win of the season. Now, the last game of the year against the Carolina Hurricanes. What's their record now? The Hurricanes are... Okay, they're 54-18-9, so I don't think we can catch them no matter what. No, with 107, they've clinched the conference. It's too bad. A year in which we do so well is a year in which the Hurricanes just did better. So to end off the year in Carolina, our Metropolitan and not just our division rival or conference rival, but our rival for the Stanley Cup. Pretty much, yeah, 2 top teams in the league. Here we go. First period, 1-0 Isles, Patrick Laine on Kochetkov. Second period, 3-1 Yzerman, then Sveshnikov, power play goal, of course. Then a power play goal of our own from Porter Martone on Akira Schmid, who's in. Seth Jarvis makes it a 1-goal game, and Martin Necas ties it at 3, of course. Let's have another implosion against the Hurricanes. There you go. Kotkaniemi makes it 4. 3 unanswered. Thank you, Oliver Kapanen, for being the one who answers back. 4-4 game with 10 minutes to go in the third period of the final game of the season. Power play Hurricanes. Here it comes. No, we kill it off. Ow. Wow. What a concept. 3 minutes to go. Final 2 minutes. Will we see overtime? Yes, we will. Shots end 37-25 for the Hurricanes, but we hang on 4-4, and the Canes win in overtime. Bordelot wins it as Augustine came in the end there. All right. So we lose that one in overtime, but we end the season not hitting our pace of 56 wins, but still going 52-22-7. Sorry, not 50. Where is it? 52-22-8. Yes, which I think is a record that we can still be very proud of. So let's go ahead and wrap things up for the year that was as we get ready for the postseason now. So we finished 3rd in the NHL. Yeah, the Sharks. I wonder what happened with their numbers with Marachik or anything like that, but we didn't really affect their NHL squad with that trade. We finished 2nd in the division, 2nd in the conference, and 3rd in the NHL with 112 points, going 52-22-8. 3.79 goals for per game puts us 3rd in the NHL. 3.17 goals against per game puts us somewhere in the middle. We can check the rankings on the screen on the side. Yeah, closer to the side we don't want to be on. At 3.17. The power play ends at 19.6%. Not bad. Yeah, not bad at all. 8, 9, 10. 10th in the league at 19.6%. But the penalty kill, we finished dead last. 77.9% for dead last in the league. That is, like, I don't even know what the word would be. It is incomprehensible. And check out Brock Besser. He didn't crack 100 points, but he still ends at 98. How about that? I didn't think he'd make it. Wow, he played 77 games. He missed 5 games due to injury. That's why. But Brock Besser ends with 35 goals and 98 points. A career year for him. A career year. Plus 34, 22 power play points, playing 20-50 of ice time per night. Brock Besser, take a bow. This is the player we were hoping for when we signed him. We were happy with him at 65, 67, but at 98 points, leading the team in scoring. Thank you, Brock Besser. Wow. An extraordinary season from him. Bo Horvat scores 46 goals and 89 points. Doesn't hit 50 goals, but we'll still take 89 points from him. 3 consecutive seasons of 42 goals or higher and 79 points or higher. Actually, 3 consecutive seasons going point per game plus. Yes, as he has 89 and 82, 46 goals, 43 assists, a plus 30, 20 power play points, playing 22-20 of ice time per night as our first line center at 34 years of age. Bo top 50, the C on his chest. Definitely a season to be proud of. Now, Matty Barzal, 29 goals and 60 assists from him playing second line center. Even with reduced ice time, 89 points, a second best season of his career at 89 points. As he scored 95 a couple of years ago. So looking at the ice time, give him 22, 21, 48 last year, he scores 76. This year, under 18 minutes per night, and he scores 89. So sometimes it's just the line fit. 60 assists, 89 points. Well done to Matty Barzal. Now, Cole Yzerman, we've been waiting for this from Cole Yzerman, finally. Not the goal scoring that we would hope for from a 5-star shooter, but point per game, 82 in 82. After going 68, 72, 65, he finally hits point per game plus now in his 4th NHL season. 82 points from Cole Yzerman. Exceptionally well done from Cole Yzerman. Good work, my friend. Patrick Laine, 33 goals and 71 points from him. Is that a career high as well? Yes, his high of 70 points. 71, a new career high. This is why he came here to Long Island. We said we're going to commit to you. Here's your no movement clause. We want you to become the player that you can be. After having some struggles in Montreal and all that, finally, 68, and now 71 points in his 3 years as an Islander. A plus 32, only 5 power play points though. Playing just 16, 17 of ice time, really? Is it because of special teams? I wonder. Patrick Laine with a career high. There you go. Porter Martone, 61 points. Down from last year. He scored... Actually, no, sorry. Tying with last year. Tying with... Actually, identical. 20 goals and 41 assists. Huh, how about that? 6 less seconds of ice time. Shooting at a little bit less efficiency. All right, Porter Martone, we can accept that. Oliver Kapanen. Now, I'm very... I got to say, I got to pat myself on the back a little bit. I'm very pleased with this acquisition. 30 points in 41 games, a 60-point pace, almost the same pace that he was doing in Montreal, but with a minute and, 21 seconds less of ice time per night? Oliver Kapanen, he was what we needed. He was what the doctor ordered for the third line, but sadly wasn't enough for our atrocious penalty kill. Evgeny Malkin at 42 years of age, both he and Fleury just drinking from the same fountain of youth. 33 goals from Gino, vintage Gino. 33 goals, same as last year. Less assists for sure on his line, but still a 33-goal season. Way less ice time, but 1350 per night. Wow. Gino. If this is his last NHL season, 670 goals, 1,660 points. What a career for Evgeny. Let's try and end it off with a cup. Vince Dunn, 49 points in 74 games. He was impressive in the second half. Very good, plus 15. Mason Marchman turned it around as well, ending with 36 points. Okay. Sandin, 34 points and a plus 41. Jiricek, 32 points and a plus 29. That's a lot of points for Jiricek, actually, compared to what he had been doing. He'd always been like a 20-point guy. 23 last year, 32 this year. Okay, yeah, a little bit of a plus there. Landon Zupon, his rookie season, scores 29 points with a plus 14, getting 19.5 minutes of ice time per night. Only going to go up from here for the 19-year-old. Fajmo, 17 goals and 27 points, playing bottom 6 minutes. All right, Ryan Pulock, 23 points and a plus 27. Dean Letourneau, 22 points and a negative 3. So the fourth line didn't look good down the stretch. Palmieri, 17 points, negative 7. Mayfield, 11 points, plus 19. Lee, 6 points, negative 15 in his 42 games. If he's not going to be playing in the postseason, we got to give his A to somebody else. Bolduc, 14 games, 1 assist, plus 1. All right, and the goaltending, here we go. Marc-Andre Fleury ends what was likely his final season, you would think, going 37, 13, and 5. 3 shutouts, 911 save percentage, and 2.86 goals against average for the 44-year-old at 77 overall. Likely ending his regular season career, surpassing 600 regular season wins. 618, 360, and 107. Wow, Marc-Andre Fleury. His career save percentage was the same as his save percentage this season. Sorokin in 18 appearances, 9-5-2, 884 save percentage, and 3.45 goals against average. Trey Augustine in 13 appearances as an 80 overall has the same save percentage, going 6-4-2, 884 with a 3.63 goals against average. Okay. Looking in the entire NHL now, just to quickly wrap up 2028-29. Sebastian Aho with 55 goals and 124 points to win the Art Ross. 64 goals from Connor Bedard to win the Maurice Richard. 79 assists from Martin Necas. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, looking at defenseman scoring now. 76 points from Cale Makar. Where's Noah Dobson? There he is. We always knew it. There's Noah Dobson. 64 points with Columbus. Of course he will. With us, 30 points, 20 points, whatever. With Columbus, 58 and 64. We always knew that was going to happen. It was always a given. Looking at goalies in the NHL, where does Fleury finish? Fleury ended, Askarov, 49 wins. Whoa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7th in the league in wins. Or there's a tied for 6th, I suppose. If we look at minimum, let's say minimum 50 games played. Looking at save percentage, better save percentage than Askarov. Fleury is up there, yeah, 1. Then if you tied for 2nd, 3rd, tied for 4th in save percentage at 911, and his 2.86 goals against average, also up there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th best. Oh, Marc-Andre Fleury. Okay, and finally rookie scoring right here. Pierce Roy, 6th overall pick in 2027 with 57 points, likely going to be winning the Calder Trophy. Rookie goalies, Augustine is up there. Okay, at least he made it. Gabriel Daigle, the only other, at 83 overall. Okay, So there's all the scoring, all the numbers, team stats, player stats for year number 5. So it's been a long enough episode. Let's start wrapping it up. There, Oliver Captain, look at the bottom. 120 games played, 90 points. Yeah, sure, of course. So let's advance and see who our opponent will be in round number 1 of the year 5 postseason. Here we go. In round 1, we will be facing the New York Rangers. Wow, the Battle of New York. Now we can see it on the side. Okay, so we're 19th in goals against per game. There you go. Battle of New York, the 52-win Islanders against the 48-win Rangers, of course. They were 9th in goals for, 6th in goals against. They had great defense. 8th in the power play, 21st for penalty kill. Oh boy, that's going to be a tough matchup. Let's just quickly take a peek at their lines as well, as this is actually the first time that the Rangers and the Islanders have faced each other in the postseason since 1994. Can you believe that? In 94, when the Rangers beat the Islanders in round 1 before going on to win the Stanley Cup. Wow. So from 1994 to 2029, the Battle of New York is reignited between the Rangers and the Islanders. Get excited for a big one next episode. The first line in New York, Lafreniere, Zibanejad, and Bertuzzi. Doc, who they picked up at the deadline, yes, Heidel, and Berard on the second line. Cooley, Trocheck, and Tromala on the third. Perreault, Pajot, former Islander Jean-Gabriel Pajot, and Klim Kostin on the fourth line, excuse me. Keandre Miller and Adam Fox on the top pair for defense. Carlo and Grzelcyk, Lindgren and Schneider. And then goaltending, of course, Shesterkin. Is Lindgren starting for them? I don't know. It shows him as the starter. We should advance a day. But Shesterkin 90 and Lindgren 82. Jones, Thomas, Lowry all as Lowry as the healthy scratches. Yeah, if we advance a day here, who will be shown as the starter? Okay, it's Shesterkin, yes. So, Shesterkin versus Fleury, you would think, for Game 1. Any suggestions, ladies and gentlemen? You let me know down here in the comments. Anything for the lines at even strength, for the special teams? I know that's been atrocious, but I don't know what other changes we could really make. So, keep in mind, if you have any specific suggestions, Power Play Unit 1 looks like this. Power Play Unit 2 looks like this. Penalty Kill Unit 1 looks like this. Penalty Kill Unit 2 looks like this. And Penalty Kill Unit 3 looks like this. If you have any suggestions, let me know, because I am honestly out of suggestions. I don't know what to do anymore. So thoughts on the lines, thoughts on who gets the other alternate captaincy. If Anders Lee is going to stay out of the lineup, who do we run with the other A in the postseason? I'd be curious about your thoughts on that. And also, over in the AHL, just to let you know, the point scoring in the end here. Arcuri, 67 points from him. Carpino, 54. Belchet's in the end, 10 goals and 38 points in 63 games. Ethan Belchet's, man, this does not bode well with me for Ethan Belchet's development as a player. He's playing 21-17 per night, and he gets 38 points in 63 games. Meanwhile, Justin Carbonneau, who's playing 16-27, is going to score 54 points in 69 games. Yeah, it's not sitting with me super well, but that's going to be a question for next season. As this year sees us win 50-plus games for the second time in 5 years of our franchise mode series, and we make the postseason for a third consecutive year as well. Doing that for the first time since the Islanders did it in 2019, 20, and 21. So a lot to be excited about here on Long Island, but it'll be a tough first-round matchup against the New York Rangers. Looking forward to reading all your thoughts down here in the comments here on YouTube or over on the Discord server linked in the description. Leave a like if you enjoyed the crazy season that was, especially for Marc-Andre Fleury, and of course, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell to be notified when we go live and when we upload our franchise mode series, our career simulations, and of course, breaking NHL news and analysis as we approach the real-world NHL trade deadline. Thanks again for watching, and looking forward to seeing you in the next one as we try for that one last chance for guys like Fleury and Malkin, probably as well for Palmieri, for Lee, and of course, guys who've been waiting long enough, Horvat, Barzal, Pollock, Mayfield, Boldzuk, trying to get that Stanley Cup here in 2029.